Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you were torn between two conflicting ideas? Now, this can lead generally to a sense of discomfort or unease. This feeling, known as cognitive dissonance, is very common amongst traders. And today, our presentation is on cognitive dissonance in trading. So, grab a pen and paper and let's dive into our presentation. I hope you find great value today. So, what specifically is cognitive dissonance? Cognitive dissonance is a mental discomfort experienced when holding onto two or more conflicting beliefs or values. It's that uneasy feeling that you get when your actions don't align with your values or beliefs. Now, let's break it down with a few everyday examples. Imagine you've bought a new computer that you didn't really need, but convinced yourself it was a worthwhile purchase. You might experience that cognitive dissonance when you realize that this purchase didn't align with your beliefs around spending. Now, to reduce this discomfort, you may rationalize the decision by emphasizing the computer's benefits or downplaying its cost. On the other hand, think about the last time you ate a sugary treat, despite knowing it's not the healthiest choice. We've all been there. You might tell yourself that it's okay this time, or that you'll make up for it by exercising more later. This rationalization helps to ease the dissonance between your desire for the treat and your knowledge of its impact on your health. Now, let's relate this to trading. I'm sure you understand as traders that cognitive dissonance will play a significant role in your decision-making processes. For instance, consider a trader who has a really good, well-formed strategy, but they're tempted to deviate from it because of a strong market trend or they've heard some news that's come out. Now, if the market moves against their deviation, that trader might experience dissonance between their belief in their strategy and the decision to move away from that. Now, to cope with this discomfort, they might justify their decision by focusing on the short-term gains. And this can really start to have a conflicting behavior and mindset. Another example could be a trader who, despite understanding the importance of risk management, continues to make trades that exceed their risk management. Now, the dissonance here arises from the conflict between their knowledge of good structure and discipline and their actual behavior. So to alleviate this discomfort, they might convince themselves that they're managing risks in other ways. Cognitive dissonance can also manifest in the form of overconfidence. So what do I mean by this? Well, when a trader experiences a series of wins, they might start to believe that their approach is infallible, even when their evidence suggests otherwise. Now, this dissonance between their actual performance and this kind of inflated self-belief, if you like, will start to lead to risky behavior. And this can be really detrimental to traders. So becoming aware of this can help you as traders to better manage your decision making. So instead of rationalizing poor decisions or ignoring conflicting information, start to address these discrepancies head on. Every trader experiences cognitive dissonance at some point. It's a natural part of the decision-making process. In fact, we all do it. But it's about having that self-awareness and knowing when you're doing it, start to challenge it, start to reframe it, start to change it. So have you ever found yourself sticking with a losing trade, even though you know deep down it's time to cut your losses? This inner conflict is a perfect example of cognitive dissonance. So we're going to talk more about how it can play out in trading. For instance, you might find that you have this strong belief or you believe strongly in a well-researched trading strategy, but find yourself holding on to a losing position because you're reluctant to admit that your initial decision was wrong. This dissonance, the mental discomfort of holding on to conflicting thoughts, will lead to poor decision making. Consider the scenario where you've developed a really good trading strategy. You're confident in your approach and you believe in its potential, that it's going to generate really good P&L over the months. However, as the market evolves and there's volatility, the data and the analysis starts to contradict your strategy. You start to second guess, hesitate. The logical decision would be to adapt your strategy based on the new information. Yet, due to cognitive dissonance, you might ignore these signals. This conflict between your belief in your strategy and the reality of the market can lead to potential losses. Now, another common scenario is holding on to losses or losing trades to avoid admitting a mistake or that you're wrong. This discomfort of admitting that a trade was wrong can lead you to hold on to it longer than you should, hoping that the market's going to turn around in your favor. This is really common, by the way. Now, this behavior not only exacerbates losses, but it will start to affect your confidence over time. Imagine that you make a risky trade that doesn't go as planned. Now, to maintain your self-esteem and justify this decision, you might come up with reasons why you're going to stay with this. Further on in the presentation, we're going to talk more about how you can help to identify this and challenge it and reframe it. Cognitive dissonance can also lead to an overestimation of your ability. For example, after a series of good trades, a trader might develop an inflated sense of overconfidence. This overconfidence can lead to higher risk. Now, when these trades don't go as expected, that trader might struggle to reconcile their belief in their own ability. So what can you do to manage cognitive dissonance in trading effectively? Well, the first step is recognizing that it's present. It's the first step. And by being aware of how this can affect your decision making, you'll start to take proactive steps to reduce its impact. Now, let's explore some common causes of this cognitive dissonance in trading and how they affect or can affect your performance. Now, the first one is the emotional attachment. Imagine you've invested a significant amount of time into a trading strategy that you're emotionally attached to. This attachment can make it incredibly challenging to let go, even when the evidence suggests it's time to move on. When you've been emotionally invested, the discomfort of acknowledging that your stock or strategy isn't performing as expected can lead to irrational decision making. So instead of objectively analyzing the situation, you might hold on to the hope that things will turn around. Next is ego or the ego. Have you ever avoided acknowledging a mistake because you didn't want to damage your ego? Again, this is very common for traders. So for traders, admitting a mistake can feel like admitting failure. And this isn't the case. But to avoid this, you may rationalize poor decisions, blaming, external factors or ignoring evidence that contradicts your actions. Protecting your ego might provide short-term comfort, but this can ultimately affect your ability to learn from mistakes and improve going forward. Now, the next one is continuing to invest in a losing trade. Have you ever continued to pour money into a losing trade or add to your position because you've already invested so much? This kind of thinking and approach will lead to potentially more significant losses. So instead of cutting your losses, you may add to a bad trade, hoping that this additional investment will somehow turn the situation around. Now, the next one is overconfidence. This is very common for traders when they've had a series of wins. When you strongly believe in your abilities, it can be difficult to accept that you might be wrong. Now, this overconfidence will lead to irrational decision making again. So it's really important to balance confidence with humility and remain open to revising your views based on new information. To reduce the impact of cognitive dissonance in your trading practice, self-awareness and regularly evaluating your decisions is key here. Every trader experiences cognitive dissonance in various forms. So just use this knowledge as a tool to help you to have that self-awareness, and so you can start to change this and challenge this. So let's look at some of the symptoms of cognitive dissonance in trading. The clash between your initial belief and the evidence or emerging evidence can lead to stress and anxiety. Now, I'm sure you understand as traders that this feeling of unease is a direct result of cognitive dissonance. It's that internal conflict between wanting to stick to your trading plan, which you know is right, and the reality that it might not be working can be overwhelming. Recognizing stress as a symptom of cognitive dissonance allows you to address it constructively. Next is rationalization. This is a classic symptom or manifestation of cognitive dissonance. When you make a trade that doesn't go as planned, you might start rationalizing the decision. Now, this is to ease the discomfort of admitting that it was a mistake. So, for instance, you might tell yourself that the market conditions were unusually volatile, or that you only made that trade based on a temporary hunch. Now, if it didn't work out, that's only going to affect you more as a trader. So, acknowledging and confronting these justifications, you'll start making more rational decisions. Now, avoidance, that's another common symptom of cognitive dissonance, or it can be. Now, when faced with information that challenges your current beliefs, you might avoid it to maintain your comfort zone. What do I mean by this? Well, for example, if you're committed to a particular trading approach, you might overlook or completely dismiss data suggesting that this approach is no longer valid. Every trader experiences this tendency to protect their beliefs, but recognizing and working through this avoidance will help you to stay more adaptable in your trading. Heightened emotional reactions can be another symptom. When there's a mismatch between your expectations and market outcomes, this can trigger strong emotional responses like frustration or anger. Now, I'm sure you understand as traders that this intense emotion can lead to further impulse decisions. Identifying these symptoms or manifestations is so important for managing cognitive dissonance effectively. When you experience stress or avoidance, take a moment to reflect on the triggers or the causes. Are they conflicting beliefs or decisions at play? Are you avoiding uncomfortable truths? Understanding its symptoms and effects can help you to move forward more effectively and productively. Embrace this knowledge, use it as your strength. Remember, acknowledging and addressing cognitive dissonance is a key step towards becoming a more disciplined trader. So let's talk about the impact on trading decisions because it's huge. Now, imagine you're holding on to a losing trade because you're emotionally invested in it, even despite knowing that the logical choice would be to cut losses. Now, when you experience these conflicting beliefs, such as a belief in a trade's potential versus the reality of its performance, emotions like hope, fear can override logical thinking. I'm sure you've all been there at some point. Now, this emotional decision making can result in further losses, frustration, and bad performance. You might make choices based on what you believe rather than objective data in front of you. So, have you ever taken on more risk than usual to justify a decision you've already made? This is another form of cognitive dissonance. This is another way cognitive dissonance impacts trading. When you're faced with a conflict between your current trading actions and your underlying beliefs, you might increase your risk taking. For example, if you've invested heavily in a particular trade that's actually underperforming or a stock, you might double down on your investment or add to your position in an attempt to make the trade work. This reluctance to cut losses or cut a losing trade is a direct result of this dissonance. So this can lead to sustained losses. Cognitive dissonance can not only cause you to miss out on potential gains, but it will affect your long-term success. Now, let's talk about some strategies to help you manage cognitive dissonance because it can really create significant challenges in trading. But there are effective strategies to help you manage it and keep your decision making on track. Now, let's explore these strategies to help you maintain a clear approach to trading. So, the first one is self awareness, recognizing and acknowledging the presence of this cognitive dissonance. It's the first step. Regularly check in with yourself, journal. Awareness is key here, helping you to have a clearer, more focused mindset. Now, maintaining objectivity is vital for managing cognitive dissonance. To counteract this, focus on analysis and evidence. Create a trading plan that you know works and stick to it. This disciplined approach helps keep cognitive dissonance in check and promotes that more rational decision making. Now, flexibility. Flexibility is essential in managing cognitive dissonance. Embrace a mindset of adaptability here. Now, when you're presented with new information that challenges your current beliefs or approach, be willing to adjust your strategies if necessary and your beliefs accordingly. Now, this flexibility allows you to stay responsive to market changes. Journaling. Journaling is a powerful tool for managing cognitive dissonance. And I know this because many of my clients use journaling to change this, challenge it, reframe it, and so much more. Now, maintaining a trading journal, you'll start to identify any of these cognitive biases too. So reviewing your trading journal regularly helps you to recognize patterns and adjust your approach. So education and training. Continuous learning, CPD, or continuous personal development is so important for managing cognitive dissonance. So invest in good educational resources and stay updated with the latest market trends and strategies. Managing cognitive dissonance can be challenging, but with the right strategies, you can improve your decision making going forward. Also, it's important to take breaks when it's essential for managing this. You know, trading can feel very overwhelming. It can be stressful. There's many decisions. It's fast. So it's important for you as traders to take a step back away from your desk, from the charts. Taking a break allows you to clear your mind and regain composure and to return with a more clearer approach. This pause can help you make more rational decisions and prevent the escalation of cognitive dissonance. Have you ever made a trading decision only to realize later that you missed some key factors? Now, using checklists can help ensure that your decisions are grounded in good, solid information. So try creating a checklist for your trading strategy, your emotions, your behaviors, and so much more. Following a checklist, you'll start to systematically evaluate each trade based on your decisions and rules. Now, the next one is reflect on the past. Reflect on past trades. This is a valuable exercise for understanding how cognitive dissonance affects your trading. Keep that trading journal. And by backtesting and looking back at the past, this gives you more data and more knowledge. Every trader, as mentioned, faces cognitive dissonance at some point. But implementing these practical techniques, you're going to start to manage the impacts better. And you'll start to reduce this. So as we come to the end of the presentation, I hope you have found this valuable. If you have any questions, please let me know. So to recap, cognitive dissonance in trading often manifests through various forms. Stress and anxiety from conflicting decisions can really cause a lot of frustration as well. These symptoms can lead to poor decision making and increase risk. Now, we've explored some practical strategies to manage cognitive dissonance effectively. So remember, every trader faces these challenges, but how you handle them can make all the difference in your trading journey. Keep these insights and strategies in mind as you continue to develop your trading skills and long-term success. Thank you. See you next time.